They say don't look back in anger, but I think we can make an exception for 2020. We're looking back at this year with plenty of anger, and for very good reason. If you knew that a year contained forest fires, racial inequality and a global pandemic, you could be forgiven for thinking that these were the signs of the apocalypse, and that the devil was having fun while God put his feet up on a Sunday. But no, this was 2020, and whether we like it or not, we're going to reflect on it. In the same way you look at an ex and think, thank God I'm not there anymore. Because hopefully we'll have a much better relationship with 2021, get lucky, and all live happily ever after. God knows we all need it after this year. Let's start with winter last year, when a little coronavirus was a pesky bit of flu that the East needed to deal with. January set the tone for the year with a COVID backdrop off in the distance, but fast approaching like an old person who's had rockets strapped to their Zimmer frame. Trump's impeachment trial started, which was a bigger waste of time than telling Bill Clinton to wear a chastity belt, as everyone knew the outcome before it started. The UK finally started the Brexit process, in what was to become the most passive-aggressive way of saying that they didn't like the French of all time, and tensions with Iran reached an all-time high. So all in all, a pretty pleasant month compared to the rest of the year. As the year moved on, so did the political machine, and following Trump's inevitable acquittal, the Democratic primaries started, and would end with another nearly dead white guy being selected to represent people. And then all hell broke loose. The coronavirus spread more quickly than VD in a college dorm. Suddenly hundreds of thousands of people had it, and plenty more were on the way. Public places became empty wildernesses worldwide in scenes reminiscent of a pre-COVID screening of the movie Cats. Spring usually brings with it a sense of optimism. Not this year. Life opened up as much as it could, but with new social distance. Basically, if you were a gamer or someone with bad body odour, then life went on as normal, but for everybody else, a weird normality of being away from people and masks took over. Then all hell broke loose again. This time it was the opposite to empty streets, but streets full of angry people. George Floyd was murdered by a police officer who knelt on his neck in an act where the term police brutality didn't really do justice to it. And speaking of justice, this is exactly what these rightfully angry people wanted. First in Minneapolis, then the US, then the world. The Black Lives Matter movement was starting to spread globally, which was a nice change from a pandemic that was continuing to do the same thing. Summer brought with it parts of the world opening up as the virus started to become suppressed. Warnings of a second wave on Bournemouth Beach in the UK got misunderstood as thousands of people decided to descend on the beach and not socially distance. The inevitable second coming of COVID did come, and just in time for a cold, dark, depressing winter. However, what also came was some hope, as news of successful vaccine trials dominated the front pages after months of misery. And US democracy appeared to prevail after threats that it would be torn apart by a man who really didn't want to say goodbye to his big, shiny White House. The year now ends with a successful vaccine being delivered to the elderly in the UK. Never have so many people around the world been so pleased that so many old people are getting stabbed. So that's 2020. Hopefully it'll hurry up and go away so we can pretend it never happened. Just like an inappropriate joke that a grandparent tells at Christmas. Thanks for watching.